Hey Brian, this is Tanner here, and thank you for taking the time to do a response video. That's awesome. So, your character, I knew something like that was going to come up, and so I knew it would force me to actually work too. So, I think I've got it down though. I think it should be good. Anyway, let's run through character creation. Alright, first off is stats. You've got three type of stats: your physical, your mental, and your social. Under those three stats, you've got three different categories. So under physical, you've got strength, reflex, endurance. Under mental, you've got aptitude, awareness, and willpower. And under social, you've got aura, cunning, and composure. Now, stats are measured in dice types like Savage Worlds in my system that I'm making. So let's look here. Now, when in character creation, you have to spend a minimum of 3 points in each realm, in each type. So you have to spend the minimum of 3 points in physical, a minimum of 3 points in mental, and a minimum of 3 points in social. And then you get 4 points to spend wherever you want on any stat you want. So, for your character, let's go through the physical ones. You gotta spend at least 3 points. You know, he doesn't sound very strong. Like you said, he's rather small. So maybe not pay attention to that. Endurance, maybe 1 or 2. And then reflex, he's probably get a couple more reflex. Probably a balance between reflex and endurance. You know, but those aren't really his main stats. His mental, now this is where, now just based on what you told me, he seems a lot more of, you know, a mental type character to me. So I don't know if that's how you want to build him, but from what you've said, this is how I'm guessing you'd want to build him. So probably put, you know, he's got to be pretty smart. So aptitude's going to be the highest one there. He's probably going to have a good awareness, decent willpower, but aptitude definitely is going to be one of his good stats. Now, you mentioned that he's just kind of the guy that people come to when they, you know, need a potion, when they need, you know, a stomach ache, you know, not like serious problems. He's kind of this hermit guy. So I'm guessing his social stats aren't going to be like through the roof either. So, you know, probably an even spread between aura, cunning, and composure on the relatively low end. Now, with those 4 extra points, what most likely I do is, you know, average everything out, but really focus on aptitude and probably awareness, because he's got to, you know, be aware in order to, you know, determine what this plant is, what it does. That's what I'm guessing. So those are it for its stats. And now the next step in character creation would be to sorry, I got distracted. I've got allergies in my eye. As you can see, it's just like gross and disgusting. I'm hoping it goes away more tomorrow because this is gnarly and all. Okay, anyway, I'm off topic. So, anyway, so skills are the next area. And now, in character creation, you get 4 points to spend on skills. But these 4 points have to be spent on a minimum of 3 skills. Alright? So you can either have 4 different skills or 3 skills, and one of them will be at rank 2. Now, skills in this are usually very, very broad. So combat is not just, you know, physical combat and slashing things. It's also, you know, tactics and all that. You know, stealth is also like lockpicking and moving silently and hiding and all that type of stuff. Now, you've said that, I'm just getting my notes out here. You said that you wanted probably stealth. You said maybe you could go down that burglary path, but so I'd probably give him stealth, hiding, you know, being sneaky, all that type of stuff. He'd probably have 1 skill rank in that. You know, most of it would come from, you know, a knowledge of herbs, a knowledge of plant life. And now, this is what gave me part of my trouble, is I had to make a new thing just specifically for that, because originally I thought, okay, you know, knowledge of plant life, that's going to be Fey lore, right? That's going to be in the same category. And I was like, no, it doesn't really fit. It seems like an added thing I'm just putting in there. So I was like, alright, so it's got to be like a lore or a knowledge of, chemistry or herbalism. Probably needs to be its own skill, which hurts me. I'm still, you gave me a good thing because I'm still trying to work out how that's going to work, because my skills are very, very broad, and this one seems rather specific, and so you got me thinking, which is good. But for now, like, this is what I've come up with. Why is my phone ringing? Who wants? Sorry. No, go away. Okay. So for now, he'd probably have 2 points in a knowledge of herbalism, and I'll describe what that does in a bit here, because I also had to come up with that. And let's see. And then, he's a farmer, so he's probably going to have, common lore or fey lore, whatever you'd feel would be most fitting. So he'd have, knowledge of the history of all the area around him, like the city, the common thing, so maybe that. Or maybe, since he's so close to the forest, he'd have a little bit of fey lore. Whatever you want. I'm not sure what your preference would be, so I can't make a decision on that. But those would be the three I would start with. Would be stealth, allowing you to move, the fey, or just common history, and then the herbalism. Now, I had to make something specific, and I'll see how it works out. I'm gonna, in my playtesters campaign, I'm gonna run something, and we'll see how it works, and I'll get back to you on this. But I'm going to make it so that each plant, right, that they find, they say, oh, what does this do? Oh, what does this do? Has a certain property, right? Will have a certain challenge rating and then a certain property. And, the challenge rating is to kind of divine what that plant's property is, right? So if you beat the challenge rating, you know what that plant can do. And they're going to be pretty much divided into the categories that spells could do. Damage, heal, minor things, or stuff like that. So each herb is going to have these different characteristics. And if you have a knowledge in herbalism, you can take these characteristics and pull them out of the plants and mix them into potions and do cool stuff like that. I'm going to see how that works. It sounds like an interesting system to me, but I don't know how that's going to measure up against spellcasting, and if that's going to be too good, if people are going to be making just potion after potion because they can. I mean, the resources are limited, but it'll be interesting to test. But that's how I'm going to run it for now. Alright. Now we get to your abilities, and this is where the cool part is, because for your abilities, you get 8 points to spend wherever you choose. You can choose to put them back into skill, or put them into more skills. You could choose to put them into more stats. You say you might want a little bit of Fey type abilities. Now, I wonder... Now, there's a lot of ways you can go with that, because remember, my system boasts that you can have any ability that you would ever want as long as it fits into the setting. So, I think, instead of saying, okay, based on what you told me, I'm going to give you this, I'm going to give you a whole bunch of options that you could do that might fit with your character. So, let's look at my magical sheet here. Now, one option would be to go the kind of arcane, your character would almost be part Fey route, and this would, you'd spend 2 character creation points, and you'd get a D2 dice into either physical magic, mental magic, spiritual magic, or time magic, right? And you get a D2 dice, and you can do anything you want as long as, you can do anything you want as long as it fit into those realms. The ones that you picked, or you could pick, physical and spiritual, or you could pick, physical and then add another dice type to physical, something like that. But you want really minor magic, so maybe a D2 in that. But also, any magic at all in the system is really powerful, so maybe we wouldn't do that, because that would be still really powerful, and also, there's drawbacks every time you cast, so that would be an option. But another option would just be to purchase, abilities, and another way to think of them as spells or spell-like abilities. traits for your character, and you know, depending on what you would want them to do, these would cost a certain amount of character creation points. So, let's see, you're dealing with herbs a lot, so maybe you want the ability to make grow out of the ground almost instantaneously with this Fey knowledge you've had an herb that has the quality of sleep, that will be able to put things to sleep. Alright, when they eat it, of course. So, with my little chart here, that's probably going to have that type of ability. It's probably just going to be a potency of 2. Not very high. I mean, they have to eat it. So the potency is going to be 2. The duration, how long do you want them to sleep for? Let's say for this ability, you want to make them sleep for a relatively long time, so you're going to put 5 into sleep. Alright? Bringing you up to 7 points, and I'll tell you what these points do in a second. Because duration of 5, 7 points. Target is 1, so brings you up to 7 points, right? Oh, sorry, 7. Target of 1 brings you up to 8. There's no area. There's no distance. So you're at 8 points. So now the other thing is it costs 8 points, right? That's what you're at. That's how much energy it costs, right? And now, since this is something that lasts forever, we also have to put the passive marker on it. And what that does is it multiplies the character creation points by 2. So you have 8 points, right? And that's how much energy your spell costs. It costs 8 energy to do. And it only costs, usually, if that would just be a spell, 1 character creation point. But since what you're making lasts forever, it's going to cost you 2 character creation points. Alright? But now, if you spent that, you'd have the passive ability to make, for 8 mana, this sleeping potion whenever you wanted. You just use 8 mana, and now you'd have it. And you'd have those ingredients forever, and you can make your potion. You could go something like that, and you can pretty much do the ingredients for any type of potion you want. It'll just cost you, 2 character creation points every time you use it. Or, you can increase the casting time, right, to decrease the character creation points it'll take you to do it. So that's one route you could do. Also, you could have a sort of a blessing type skill, right? And so maybe this would increase the potency of, herbs you casted on, like helping this, fields grow, that type of thing is what I'm trying to go for here. So that would probably be a potency of, let me just look at my potency chart here. There'd probably be a potency of, depending on how much you want it to bolster, let's say you just wanted a little minor amount, so it's a potency of 3, duration, you gotta pick how long this is gonna take effect on them, and so it's, just a few rounds, because then you're gonna use them, it'll be over. Actually, let me give that a think. Be probably you are a tricky man here. Oh wow, I'm glad you got me thinking about this. Okay, so you'd probably need to assign it a duration, and so that would be how long this blessing would last on the herbs you're casting it on. So we got 3. Let's make it a duration of 4, bringing me up to 7. Was my math wrong on the last one? I think it was. Oh, but anyway. Bringing you up to 7, target 1, 8, and so it's another 8 spell, and this one just costs an energy to cast. You cast it on the herb, and it will bolster that herb's effects by, just by a little. So that's another route you could go. But yeah, all depending on depending on the magic you want, we could talk about that. You can send me and tell me, okay, I want this type of magic, and I'll leave you a comment on how I would do that. But you get the idea. I'm pretty sure I could match your character pretty well. Again, thank you for taking the time to do a response, and forcing me to think about herbalism. I'll see how it runs out in my campaign. Anyway, I hope this made sense. This has been T Walker, aka Tanner, and I am signing off.